Tonight on the National News, we bring you the latest on owl attacks in Salem, Oregon. Amber has the World News Minute, and we will check in with Robin for the weather.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a friend home safe.
And to not blame the victim.
It's on us.
To look out for each other.
To
not look the other way.
It's on us to stand up.
To step in.
To take responsibility.
It's on us, all of us,
to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the National News. I'm Margaret Ford.
And I'm Taylor Bailey. Another company is yet the victim of a cyber hacking. The FBI is investigating the hacking attack on the Anthem, one of the nation's largest insurance companies. The company says the hacked database contains 80 million records, but they anticipate the actual numbers of the individuals affected will be lower.
When owls attack, people of Salem, Oregon had this bizarre turn of events.
It catches you off guard, and you're kind of in a shock for a second.
Look closely, and you can catch a glimpse of an owl perched high up in a tree at Bush Park in Salem. Its latest victim, Brad Hilliard.
So I spun around, trying to see what was behind me, and nothing was there. And I started kind of looking around, and then it kind of hit me, wait a minute, my hat's actually gone.
Hilliard tells me he was jogging at the park early Monday morning when the barred owl swooped in, scratched his head, and stole his Nike ball cap.
It's pretty surprising because you're out and it's 5:45, so it's still dark out.
I've learned Hilliard is the fourth person to be attacked by this owl. In response, park workers put up these warning signs, suggesting of all things, hard hats for runners and walkers. Salem doctor Ron Jakes was the first to report such an attack last week when he was jogging through the park.
All of a sudden, my cap was sucked off like a vortex, and it was like a tearing, shearing sensation when he latched onto my head.
The Parks Department believes this is a barred owl, normally found in eastern Oregon. This one may have been protecting territory or a nest. We checked, and the Parks Department tells us there are no plans at this point to catch this aggressive owl. I've learned the attacks on people could last through March, the end of mating season.
Wildlife needs to address it and come up with a safe way to do something with them. If this is not a normal habitat for them, then maybe find a normal habitat somehow.
Lawmakers in Colorado, North Dakota, and Wyoming renew a push for bills that would allow gun owners with licenses to carry concealed weapons on school campuses. Supporters of the bills say that this will be protection against school shooters. Opponents say this is not a solution to school shootings.
Armed suspects robbed one of the most popular jewelry chains in the United States, Tiffany & Company. 3 armed suspects, disguised as construction workers, made off with an unknown amount of jewelry from a San Diego store. No one was harmed, and the robbery is still under investigation. According to reports and lack of criminal background checks and post-security issues in the airports, the day after the investigation was revealed, officials and no one checks criminal backgrounds after workers are hired.
The deadliest crash in Metro-North Railroad's 32-year history leaves 6 people dead in New York. Last night, Ellen Brody's SUV was stopped on the railroad tracks as it collided with a commuter train. Brody and 5 train passengers were killed. The 19-year-old son of a priest is charged with capital murder after 3 bodies were found in the family's Houston home. Investigators believe that Isaac Tihari Hundy killed his parents and 5-year-old brother and then left the state. Police arrested him 2 days later in Mississippi.
The 2-step jury selection for the trial of decorated Navy SEAL featured in the new movie American Sniper, Chris Kyle, begins today. Eddie Ray Routh allegedly shot Kyle in Texas in 2013. Routh was arrested later the same day and charged with the murder of Kyle. The trial was initially slated to begin last May, but now it will begin next week in Rath County, Texas. Chairman Tom Wheeler on Wednesday proposed the strongest open internet protections the web has ever seen. The proposal, which is expected to be voted on later this month, is cracking down on the cable providers much more than originally anticipated.
Investigators of the Colorado plane crash may have discovered the cause of the accident. Investigators found an undamaged GoPro that belonged to the pilot and the passenger that was killed in the crash. The photos on the GoPro showed that the pilot was taking selfies of himself on the plane right before the accident. This leads investigators to believe the distraction may have been the cause of the fatal crash.
April has more on one who showed the show during Katy Perry's halftime performance.
So this is my computer.
This is your computer. Let's go on the internet.
Let's go. Click it.
Yes.
Okay.
I cursor in between the R and the E. When I say dot, I want you to just push the period.
She's gonna love me all over again now.
That's it. Jamaica, here you come.
Here we go.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. And I did it by myself. Feel smarter.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Welcome back. A man charged with killing 2 Northern California sheriff deputies pulled a stunner in a courtroom today, stating he did commit the crimes and that he was ready to be executed. Luis Enrique Monroy Bracamenes of Utah blamed his outburst on anxiety. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty for Bracamenes, who is charged with killing 2 deputies, wounding another, and wounding a motorist during an October rampage.
And here's April with the latest entertainment news.
Thanks, team. Move over, Katy Perry. Make room for the real Super Bowl halftime show. Okay, not quite, but it seems that Katy Perry's Left Shark dancer stole some of her spotlight during the Super Bowl halftime show this Sunday. The internet sensation has been revealed as dancer Brian Gaw after he stepped forward to claim his title. He's been a dancer for Perry in her last tour, but I wonder if he's going to bring out his shark suit again anytime soon. Mila Kunis sat down with Ellen DeGeneres earlier this week to talk baby talk. Mila and Ashton Kutcher are proud parents of new baby Wyatt Isabel, but what Ellen was really trying to figure out was if Mila and Ashton are finally married. Unfortunately, Ellen couldn't get a straight answer, but Mila would say that Ashton is very involved with helping take care of the child, and she is head over heels in love with their new baby. Olympic gold medalist Bruce Jenner has had his name in the media a lot this past few years, but this time it's about his new transition into becoming a woman. Images have surfaced of Bruce which show his hair long and polished fingernails. In an interview with his stepdaughter, Kim Kardashian, he stated that Bruce is the happiest he's ever been, though she wouldn't reveal his plans. Rumor has it that the transition will be made with a docuseries over the year, and his family is accepting and supporting in whatever decision he makes.
Thanks, April. Now here's an update on a hungry dog that's being blamed for a house fire that killed 5 pets in Tennessee. The Knoxville Fire Department believes one of the dogs pawed the burner controls on the stove while trying to reach for food on a nearby counter. No one was at home and only one of the 6 dogs survived.
Grander of the Seas, a ship in the Royal Caribbean Line, wasn't exactly grand for most of the passengers. The cruise to Jamaica and the Caribbean that was expected to last 9 days was cut short because over 200 people developed norovirus and required immediate medical attention. The ship returned to the port of Baltimore on Monday. And now Dylan DeSemini is here to talk about parking issues on campus.
Hi, Dylan.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Good, good. We just want to know some information on parking here, I guess, because that's what everyone said. I'm going to actually change the subject and say, how about plane travel?
Well, plane travel is actually what we are going to talk about tonight. Many of us have our own...
Curveball there.
Oh, yeah. Most of us have our own phobias out there, especially with the recent missing planes from AirAsia. We mentioned a Colorado plane crash earlier this week. And, of course, there was that dramatic video of that plane crash also in Asia. The fact of the matter is, however, plane travel is the safest form of travel out there. Even this past year with those two mysterious planes, statistics say that the total number of fatal air accidents was the lowest it has ever been. In fact, CNN put out a report with rather striking numbers. 2014 featured 22 accidents and 992 fatalities, the highest since just over 1,000 in 2005. Still a very downward trend.
All right, and how can they account for that?
Increasing safety measures. With every single accident that happens, flight safety manages to work and fix the issue as soon as possible. This past decade was not even close to the 1970s and 80s, which had the highest plane crash fatalities in the history. Washington Flight Safety Foundation Rudy Quevedo says air travel is getting safer and safer every day. As for the total number of global commercial crashes, 2014 was the second lowest it has ever been. Only 2012 had less. 2014 features a crash rate of 0.24 out of 1 million departures. Director of Aviation Advocacy Andrew Charlton said that the single most dangerous part of flying is driving to the airport.
All right, well, thank you, Dylan. That's very informative.
Of course.
All right, and now over to Amber Mathis, right, with our world.
Yep.
Okay.
Members of Al-Qaeda were killed in a drone strike this past Saturday. Harith Anadari, along with 4 other members of Al-Qaeda, were killed. Nadadari is known for his public praise for the terrorist attacks on Paris. This news comes today from a member of Al-Qaeda that works as a communicator between the militant group and the media. Al-Qaeda believes the drone strike was sent by the United States. An HIV trial called Vaginal Oral Interventions to Control the Epidemic has been halted. The trial took place in clinics in Africa, Zimbabwe, and Uganda. Voice's aim was to reduce the number of new cases of HIV in women. The trial effectiveness was questioned once results showed the women in the trial were getting HIV at roughly the same rate as those who were not participating. The failure of this trial is believed to be from participants not taking their medications due to fear of the side effects. In a hope to gain a sense of normalcy, the Prime Minister of Iraq, Haider Abadi, is lifting the overnight curfew in Baghdad. Along with this, Abadi will also be removing unnecessary checkpoints from the roadways. Abadi's pledge as Prime Minister is to make life easier for the Iraqi people, and he hopes these changes are a step in the right direction. I'm Amber Mathis, and that's your World News Minute.
Thanks, Amber. Now here's Brandon with sports. Brandon?
Thank you. The New England Patriots are still enjoying their celebration week after a Super Bowl victory over the Seattle Seahawks, 28-24. They paraded throughout the streets of downtown Boston yesterday, and the hero of Super Bowl 49 was Malcolm Butler, who traveled to Disney World earlier in the week. Super Bowl 49 was the highest viewed Super Bowl in television history. Congrats to all the signees. Yesterday was National Signing Day for student athletes across the country. Hundreds of senior student athletes wrote their name on the dotted line, making their commitments to the school of their choice. Most notable was Cordell Brodus, the son of hip-hop icon Snoop Dogg, who committed to UCLA. In the NBA, guard Stephen Curry, the Golden State Warriors put up 51 points in a come-from-behind victory over the Dallas Mavericks. That's all for sports. Back to the desk.
All right, well, thank you, Brandon. And we're going to have Robin with the weather.
Thank you. Today's weather forecast is windy and cold with temperatures ranging from 11 degrees. Ooh, it's going to be a cold one out there tonight, you guys. Now let's take a look at our 5-day weather forecast. On Friday, we have partly cloudy with temperatures ranging in between the mid-30s and our low being in the low 20s. Now look, wow, we have a change. Our weekend is a little bit milder. We are ranging in the mid-40s on this one, and our low will be just above the freezing point. But we have just, it's still cloudy on Saturday, but Sunday, here comes that rain, so don't forget to grab your umbrellas. On Monday, we have, guess what? The snow. Yes, the snow will be coming back with the rain, and we are in our mid-30s again, with the lows being in the mid-20s. And Tuesday, that snow still sticks around for the AM, but PM, here comes that sun, but it won't be such a big impact, but it might have a little impact because our temperatures are still kind of in the freezing mark, with the high being in the mid-30s and the low being in our teens. Now let's take a look at our weather window. Now, let's take a look. Now we see that the snow is gone, but it is still very, very cold out there. So I have 4 words for you guys who are planning on leaving the house. Hat, scarf, coat, and gloves, okay? It is very, very cold out there, ladies. I know February is the coldest month of the year, but it's cold.
It is
really
cold out there, Robin. This morning, when I was walking in, I almost blew away. So,
extremely windy.
And my hat and scarf and all that might blow off too. So we're gonna need to
hold on
strap
to
it all on, and
That's it.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I'm Taylor Bailey.
And I'm Margaret Ford.
Good night.